Well, attorneys general from 30 states recently held a conference call to discuss Google's collection of data from wireless computer networks. Last month, Google acknowledged that it had gathered this information while capturing images of streets and houses for its Street View service. Google maintains that it did not break the law. Well, that is a different take from our next guest. Connecticut Attorney General and U.S. Senate candidate Richard Blumenthal is leading the charge in the investigation against Google, and he joins us now. And Attorney General Blumenthal, thanks so much for being with us. First off, how many states are in fact investigating Google along with you?
We're right now verifying the exact number that want to be part of this multi-state investigation. On the call the other day, more than 30 states participated, and others wanted to be briefed afterward. So we think there's a very high amount of interest, and we will be announcing, as a matter of fact, later today, the existence and formation of this multi-state investigation, which is a step toward essentially getting at the facts. At this point, we've drawn no conclusions.
But has there been any disagreement at all as to the legality of this?
There certainly is disagreement with Google as to the legality if there was unwarranted and improper invasion of legitimate expectations of privacy. What we have and what we know is that Street View cars, may have intercepted wireless data in ways that could violate the law. And at this point, we haven't reached any conclusions.
Right.
But certainly we know that the data was collected, it was stored. We want to know.
But Google argues, though, that this data was collected on unsecured networks, unsecured Wi-Fi networks. So anybody passing by could have collected this data.
They were indeed collected from unencrypted wireless networks. The question is whether the equipment that was supposed to be doing simply photography also collected what's known as payload data, which is emails, webnet browsing,
right, passwords and things like that,
right, and so forth. But the key question is, and you've identified it, what was collected, why? Was it a mistake in the software, as Google contends? That's a key question. And what's being done in the future to prevent it, which is really also a profoundly important question that we want to know.
Right, but Google says that they've collected this, they did it by mistake, but they didn't use it.
Well, they said that they did not use it in any Google products or services. They were very careful in the wording they used to describe what use, if any, was not made of it. We want to know whether, in fact, it was fragmented, simply collected and stored, or whether it was used for any purpose. We're not disputing at this point that Google may be giving us information that's absolutely truthful. And I should emphasize to you, Google has been cooperating. We hope they will continue to cooperate. We're not making any allegations at this point.
Right. They've been cooperating, but weren't you quoted, though, Attorney General, that in fact the cooperation, the statements they've made raise even more questions to you?
And indeed, it did. It left many questions unanswered, raised a number of other questions. And we will also be announcing later today, by the way, that we have posed many of those questions to Google in a formal request for additional information and documents.
Okay, and before I leave you, Mr. Attorney General, I do have to turn to your Senate race. As you know, a lot has been made in the press about your military service. At this point, do you believe that you've put that issue to rest, or is that something that's going to come up, or you believe is going to come up on voting day?
I've been asked, and I've answered the questions regarding my military service, and I'm proud that I served in the United States Marine Corps Reserve. Now it's time really to turn to the real problems of real people here in Connecticut and around the country, such as rebuilding our economy, keeping faith with our veterans, creating more jobs, and I think that will be the case.